either gonna hate Yukine or you're gonna have compassion for him in this episode of Noragami. Honestly, I'm on the side of Yukine. I understand why he's acting like he is. Yes, he's acting kind of like a brat. But, I mean, take it from his standpoint. Okay, so for one thing, he's a little boy, like, not even over 18 yet, and he has died. And it looks like, so far what we know of his past, you know, his family mistreated him. Okay. But, I mean, if you were in his shoes and you died at such an early age, I mean, you're seeing creepy monsters, ghosts that you never got to see before, you're working for a god, and then you find out that the god actually killed a fellow regular, wouldn't you kind of be acting like Yukine in a little bit? Think about that in a logical sense. I mean, yes, he stole something this episode, and I really don't agree with that. I don't, and that entire scary, freaking epic scary face, that was awesome. But I felt like Yukine was kind of a little bit crazy there, and I don't agree with that. But I thought it was really ingenious of the actual writers and the plot mechanics and devices they used with Yukine's sins against Yato. For instance, we find out that now Yato actually is getting blight and masma on the back of his neck, which adds a really unique plot device. For one thing, we find out that Ghost earlier on in the series pretty much, you know, they could get blight and they eventually turn evil. Like, for instance, we got Hiyori. She can have that happen to her and turn completely crazy like we saw the little child from last episode happen. So, now that we know that gods can have that happen to them, I'm actually extremely curious about something. So, if gods can get blight, okay, from the Regulus, and they can actually get corrupted, there's actually probably evil gods in this series. Really evil gods that are completely just corrupted. And I can see this happening to people that have bad Regulus and terrible sins. They keep making sin after sin and causing it to happen to their fellow god, like Regulus doing that to their god, and their god just goes evil. Now, I understand Yato's standpoint and Yukine's standpoint. Personally, Yato should have explained to Yukine exactly why he killed a fellow regular and what Yukine is actually doing to Yato. I mean, how is Yukine supposed to really know that he's causing blight onto Yato and causing him to get corrupted to where he can't be healed, weakening him in a state to where he can't really move, where he's not at top strength, and just doing all sorts of bad things like that? I mean, he's not supposed to know that. Yato's supposed to clear that up. So, I feel like next episode most likely is going to be a major character development between those two characters. But, all in all, this episode really got the point across with some character development, along with character introductions, and some epic fighting scenes. That war god. I thought Yato was the war god, but no, I got that freaking wrong. He is the god of calamity. And Bishamon, she is the god of war. She has like freaking 5 or 6 regulars, a navigator, let's see here, she has a freaking tiger, or no, not a tiger, a lion, she has a freaking gun, she has a whip, a belt, I'm guessing. I mean, she has everything left and right. I mean, she's clearly stronger than Yato, but I mean, Yato technically wasn't at full strength this episode because of Yukine, but it's not Yukine's fault, in my honest opinion. Now, I really love the entire animation in this episode. It really had some really epic animation, especially with these fighting scenes. But one scene I loved the most with the animation was Kofuku's introduction into the fight, when she just charges in, acting all cute and adorable, and rips open a freaking hole, a vent, a storm, a ghost portal to the underworld with her fan, and you see Ghost just flying out. She said, oh, oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Just so adorable, but at the same time, the animation just went off the freaking wall in that scene, and that was awesome, really freaking awesome. So, I love this episode. It was definitely my favorite episode. I noticed each episode in Noragami is slowly building up, and building up with each episode, probably to a major climax. And honestly, one thing that I think the series does really well is with its characters. Now, for instance, they leave us with so many mysteries on the characters, like Yato. We learn about a little bit about Yukine. We don't know much about him in his past. We find out Bishamon, Nora, you know, Kofuku. I mean, there's so many characters I want to know about. They have so much mystery backstories behind them. I want to know more about them. But when a writer and a plot can actually make you to where you're just gnawing at the character and wanting to know more about them, they're doing a damn good job at telling a good story with good characters, because that means they're doing it properly when you're at the edge of your seat the entire episode, wanting to know what is going to happen with the characters and what kind of story do they really have. I have a lot of interesting theories. For instance, okay, for one, I personally feel that Nora, she plays a big freaking role in this series. And actually, just thinking about it before I started making this review, I came to the conclusion that if you think about it, Nora's name is actually in the title of Noragami. So, I didn't really realize that until I started actually thinking about Nora. And so, let's get into the discussion of her. Since technically her name is in the title, I feel like she's going to play a major role in the series. I mean, it's kind of obvious by now, in that she's a regular to Yato, our main male character. But we see a power she uses in the middle of this fight between Bishamon and also Yato. So I felt that since she was controlling another regular, we literally see her controlling another regular. And I came also to the conclusion that since we found out this episode, each regular has different powers, different forms, different stuff like that. So, what I am going to take a quick guess here is that Nora can control other regulars. And what is it stopping her from maybe controlling a god like Yato? Now, we find out this episode that Yato killed one of Bishamon's regulars. Now, we know that, for instance, any regular that comes to the conclusion that would probably be willing to kill another regular would be Nora, because she sends off the completely evil vibes that it's just completely overprotective of Yato, or at the same time, an evil character. So, what if Nora's power, when Yato is using her, she controls Yato, and she killed a regular, and Bishamon doesn't realize it, doesn't know that, and this theory goes to be more proven by Kazuma's actual reaction to the entire thing. What I'm getting at is, okay, at the end of the fight, we see Kazuma bow to Yato, okay, and Kazuma is a regular for Bishamon, so only thing I can take in different theories is either he knows exactly what happened in the past when the regular got killed by Yato, or he was a previous regular to Yato. So, there's so many different things the way the plot can go that keeps me really interested, and that's why I'm really at the edge of my seat, because I'm really trying to figure out what way will the plot go next week. And that is good when I'm thinking out so many different theories I can go, and these are some really good actual plot lines they can choose. I personally believe the Nora actually controlling Yato and controlling other regulars is a plausible actual theory, because it pretty much is self-explanatory what she did in this episode. Now, another thing I really love about this episode is Hiyori's adorable faces. Oh man, she has so much adorableness. And I felt like the way she was just sniffing in the air trying to find Yato, that was freaking adorable scene. I don't know about anyone else. I feel like I love these characters each week even more. They're doing a great job with all the different characters and mysteries. I feel like Noragami is definitely one of those series, definitely my top 3 of this season, because I didn't expect it to be this good, especially with what it has actually done into this anime season. It's definitely a unique series of this season that stands out among all of them in the terms of animation, characters, and just all around. They don't have much fan service that really destroyed the plot either, so I think they're doing a great job there. Anyways, tell me what you think about my theories of Noragami this week. What'd you feel about, Nora? What do you think about everything that happened this episode? And let me know what you think. Y'all wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please stay safe. Chibi out.